massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Hello, good evening and welcome to you all. I am really excited. Tonight I've managed to get this chap, Mr. Mohammed Shafiq, and he's agreed to come on stream. I do not believe he's ever appeared on a video before on YouTube, not even his voice. So really lucky, and I can confirm he has arrived. He's got one hell of a story to tell. Oh boy, has he got a story to tell. So a few quick hellos. The Snark, What Are UK? I see Brian Pop, Robson, Pajo Lee, Dora and Koo, of course, Captain Welshie, and many more. And hopefully we'll get some people over from what was Baldy Cats, now the new Mr. Sensible. So I'll spend 2 minutes just explaining this. This channel, the original Mr. Sensible, is now Mr. Sensible Live, where my live streams and debates will go. The channel that was Baldy Cats is still called Baldy Cats, but is becoming Mr. Sensible, is where all my ordinary videos will go. First one's going up tomorrow night, 9 PM UK, no wait, 8 PM UK time I think, so that's 1900 UTC. Please check it out. I take a pyramid scam to bits. That was interesting. I just thought, is my sound on? Yes it is. I'm professional. I should trust myself. Yeah, it's Mohammed Shafiq MI8 or MI6. Who knows? Boy, I'll tell you what, like I said, I'm just so pleased I managed to get Mr. Shafiq on here. So we'll give him a couple more minutes. He's in the waiting room, so we're going to be good to go. You may think, at first, this is a joke. It is no joke, as you will find out. I've known Mr. Shafiq online. I was trying to think about it. Probably about a year and a half now. And we've got on very well, and we've developed a trust. If we didn't have that trust, he wouldn't be on here tonight. I kid you not, he really wouldn't. So Irish Dublin, hello to you. What Are UK? Purple Snowdrop and Blue Feather, hello to you all. I hope you like the rebranding. This was a chance to freshen things up. Actually, a couple of other things with regard to that. I've been asked, firstly, why have I split the channel and perhaps not moved everything there? The reason is that YouTube sort of works out a channel's popularity and how much it's going to push a channel based on its analytics. And live streams, unfortunately, they tend to be quite long. Perhaps people dip in and out, because it's quite common for people not to watch a whole stream. So it looks like less interest. And that harms a channel's statistics. And so YouTube thinks this channel isn't as good, perhaps, as it may be. So splitting pre-recorded videos, which tend to have higher views, they're the ones people tend to watch the whole thing of, looks a lot better as far as YouTube is concerned. So hopefully they'll push it more, hopefully get more views, more subscribers, yada yada. So that's why it's split. The other thing I have been asked was, why have I got Baldy Cats? Why has MC Toon got Conspiracy Cats? Well, I think I'll address it now, so the question doesn't keep coming up, because there is absolutely no issues between the three of us. Cats asked us to come up with a decision as to who gets whose, because he didn't want to give me one and Toon the other, or the other way round. You know, how could he choose? And quite right too. And myself and Toon had a long chat about it, and he's a nice guy. Hopefully I'm a nice guy, and to be honest, we couldn't decide either. Either way round, it's just as justified for me to have Conspiracy as him, or this way round. And so in the end, we agreed, and totally happy with this as an answer. We made an executive decision. We tossed a coin. That's what it came down to. We tossed a coin because there was no particular reason that I or Toon should get the larger channel. And so we just agreed to abide by the toss of a coin, and abide by that we are. and there are no issues between us, and I don't want anyone to think there's any issues between us. No one will drive a wedge between us because we are totally cool with it. So that's it, really. Yeah, so the new channel has its first Mr. Sensible output tomorrow night. I hope that you've hopped on over there. The link is in the description. I hope that you subscribed, hit notifications, and let's get that channel flying even more. That'll be brilliant. Okay, I'm going to drag Mr. Shafiq into the live into the live room even. So Mo, hopefully you're listening. I'll give you about 30 seconds warning. I said in the description that he's a creator who does battle with hate and evil. I'm not joking about that. I said that he's been charged as working for MI6. I'm not joking about that either. I said there's been doxing attempts, threats to himself and his friends and family. I'm not joking about that either. Not in any way, shape or form. So as I said, I'm extremely lucky to have him on here. So Mo, I'm dragging you in now, but nobody can hear you yet, Mo. Let's just make sure. Yes, the camera's on. Nobody can hear you yet, Mo. I'm going to just get set up and... Oh, not that one. Not that one. Oh, this is... Right, let's just get that. Okay. And let's get Mo into the room. Good evening to you, Mr.
Hello, Mr. Sensible.
Hello to you.
How are you doing?
Not so bad. I better adjust the sound level a bit. If you could just say something else.
How are you doing, Mr. Sensible? Good evening.
Good evening to you. Hopefully that's all right. Yeah, I said to people, this is not a joke. I've got an outline of you, unless you really do look like that, stood in front of, I think it's the MI6 building. This is serious, isn't it?
Yes, very. Well, to one person it is indeed.
Yes, yes. And for those who may be wondering, yes, we are using a voice filter to protect Mr. Shafiq. Now, I've fought against flat earthers and other conspiracies. I've had horrible things said. I've had a couple who've tried to dox me. But that's nothing in comparison to what you've had, is it, Mo?
This way, I've had the brunt of it. I've had conspiracy influences call me horrific things online, target harassment, and the latest thing is I've got one of David Icke's minions thinking that I work for MI5. I'm the head of Ramadan Foundation, and they've only started targeting someone who's got diplomatic protection.
So let me get this straight. They have mistaken you for this chap, and they're attacking him.
Diplomatic protection, yes.
And that's going to go down well, isn't it?
Well, they've already got the police on them already.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad about that. Better give a bit of background. I think I first came across you, and we came across each other with regard to a certain Mr. Mark Steele. I think that was the first time anything I did overlapped with anything you were looking at.
Yes, you did a video on Mark Steele and a few of his minions chopping down lampposts.
That's right. And for those who don't know...
I came along and corrected you on the person's name, and you were man enough to come out straight away and say, I got it wrong, this is the person.
Thank you.
And it was maximum respect for you from that day on.
Thank you. And for those who don't know, Mr. Mark Steele, when I first came across him, is the conspiracy nut who thinks that lampposts are part of a killing weapon. I can't remember how he thinks they're going to kill you, with some sort of laser beams or something, is it? I don't know. Or radiation.
He thinks they're going to kill you through 5G radiation, but the actual light nodes were made in 2012. Before 5G was actually invented, and there was no allocation for the frequency. It wasn't even in a pipe dream until 2014.
And this Mr. Mark Steele isn't even just a conspiracy nut with stupid ideas, is he? I'm sure you're aware, Mark. But for those who aren't, Mr. Mark Steele is an ex-bouncer. And he actually got nicked. Gangland.
Yeah, he actually Gangland in the Tyne.
Yeah, and he actually got nicked and done for shooting a girl in the head That is not slander. That's that's known. That's a court case. It's in the press and everything.
And he got 8 years for that, and he appealed his sentence a few weeks in and got rejected by the High Court.
And there you go.
He had no remorse.
Now, when I did my lamppost video, I didn't know that. I'd have still done it, but this is one of the guys you've been up against, isn't it?
That's just one of them. I've been up against him, Lee Garrett, Kate Shimarani, Louise Hampton, Fiona Hine. Recently been under Jeanette Archer, Wayne Fox, Archie Shulman. There's a whole host of them, and they're all connected. Every one of them's connected.
Sorry, 1 second, Mo. When we were trying this with the voice filter, we had some feedback from myself. We managed to get rid of it, but that's crept back in again. Am I on sort of speaker, so it's picking up in your mic?
No, you're on headphones at the minute.
Strange.
Is that any better?
Let's hope so. People, I'm sorry, but it may be that we have to put up with that feedback from myself because the main thing is, and this is absolutely serious, we've got to keep Mr. Shafiq protected, or he won't be on here, and quite right too. Yes, so we had Mark Steele, and then next I dealt with his little sidekick, Lee Garrett.
Yes, Sir Robin.
Sir Robin, who bravely ran away and abandoned them all, didn't he?
Yes, after grassing them all up.
But you mentioned some other names. You mentioned one of David Icke's minions. You also mentioned that lovely toxic nurse, Kate Shemarani.
Yeah, I've been battling with Kate for some time now.
So these are big names.
Yeah.
And you would hope, yes, people, it is the voice changer that's doing it. You would hope that people of that stature could ignore little Mr. Shafiq and carry on. But oh no, they're not ignoring you, are they?
No, they go on live right-wing American Christian shows and call me horrific names and
is that the video that I've got?
Me.
Is that the video I've got? You sent me a copy of.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps now is a good time to play it. Let me just get that switched on. You won't hear the sound of it back in the room there, okay, Mo?
Okay.
Right, let's give this a go, people. This is real.
We tease Mr. Bozohead, can give him a poke in the eye, and all his little minions who are those who hate you. They're working in that profession. These are the slobs that you're calling out.
There's also a guy who is a police informer, and he's a paedophile. His first name is Mohammed. You might come across him. Yep. He's a paedophile apparently, and a police informer. I say that apparently because I've been told that on good authority. But remember, these people are so driven by Satan.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't know the Lord.
Let me.
Please. I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
I love that little ending. Yeah. So that's Kate Shemarani, toxic nurse, who's been banned from just about everywhere, hasn't she?
Yep, and she was also struck off as well.
Struck off, but she was still claimed to be a nurse, even though she wasn't believing or accepting of vaccines and all sorts of things.
Yep, and basically she was struck off for causing public panic and fear through propaganda.
So she is just making wild, unsupported allegations that you're a pedophile and that you, what was it, a police informer?
Yeah.
I never understood
because
that. Yeah, go on, carry on.
I make parody videos and basically mock her with her own words and troll her when she's online. We invent words and make her agree to them, medical made-up terms during her live feeds and make her look like a total imbecile. And then we'll record them, screen record them and put them out online just to show everyone how pathetic she actually is.
And really is. But they don't come back to you with arguments, they come back to you with threats. Can you, obviously, if at any time, just to be clear, Mo, if at any time I ask a question that you don't want to answer because you feel it may compromise yourself in some way, please just say, I don't want to answer that. And that's absolutely fine, okay?
That's okay.
Because I totally understand, and I could potentially put my foot in it, and I don't want to. Okay. Sorry, I've forgotten what I was asking now. So Kate Sherman, we were just saying about Kate. Oh yeah, what sort of threats have you had from Kate and others then?
I've had threats to behead me. I've had threats to burn down an alleged shop that I own. I've had to actually contact people who have got the same name and say, these people have said this and they're coming after you. And I've had to do this several times now. Actually contact people they're targeting, thinking they're me.
Because they got a name, either Mohammed Shafiq or something similar too.
Yeah, but the thing is, I've built up some very good friendships through the people that they've tried to target, thinking they're me.
Yeah. But I mean, if someone's making a threat to a Mr. Mohammed Shafiq, thinking it's you, and you become aware of that threat, I think you've got more than every right. You have a duty, no less, to let them know, and or the police.
Yep. Exactly.
They're the ones who are stepping outside the law. Screw them if they don't like the fact that the police get involved.
Exactly. And that's why I contact them. I have actually contacted the police several times.
Good.
I will not be contacting Northumbria police ever again because they work closely with we know who, and give them your details when they go round.
That's not on. That's not on. I mean, I think it's quite widely known on this channel that twice, just in respect of my channel, I've had to contact the police. Once for a certain Mr. Anthony Riley, although that was just for disablist hate speech. Very nasty, but doesn't do me any actual harm. The other one was Mr. Oakley, who was making doxing attempts against me, which obviously is a step above, because who knows? He doesn't know. Does that jeopardise my family? Does that jeopardise my job? He didn't care. He just wanted to find out about me. But you've had doxing attempts plus physical threats and threats to life. Beheading threats,
yep.
You say?
Yep.
This is way beyond dealing with flat earthers.
And it's a good job I can laugh at them and mock them. Yeah. Because when I mock them, it seems to irritate them a lot more than me actually running off in fear.
Yeah, well, that's it. We need to fight this sort of person, this sort of stupidity, and for want of a better word, this sort of evil.
When Kate said that about being on that American TV show, I took all her voice clips and made a song about her being suspended and mixed it with Toxic, Britney Spears.
Yes.
Britney Spears, Toxic.
I bet that went down a bundle.
I made a dance remix of that and then mixed her voice over it. So she was doing the singing for it, talking about how she got suspended.
I do mean to say, actually, I did see earlier on, Mo, and I was going to read it out. I can't see who it was, sorry. But there was someone... Oh, I can't see it now. But basically, that you have a big fan in the comments. I apologise, whoever that was, and they said that they were really glad that you're on. Big fan. They love your channel, which is nice. I love your channel too. I do.
Thank you very much. I do a lot more on Twitter because of the YouTube algorithm don't like what people who I cover say.
Is there a link to your Twitter on your channel?
Yeah, it's in the About section.
Okay, so everybody, I have put a link to Mo's channel in the description. So from there you can get to his Twitter account. And actually, I follow his Twitter account too. It's quite lively on there, isn't it?
So do lots of journalists.
Yes, please. Obviously, I'm aware of what sort of people have picked up on your tweets. Perhaps you'd like to let other people know.
I've been in the Independent, I've been in the Times, I've been in the Financial Times, most of the broadsheets, the Daily Mail, been on Channel 4 News, exposing Boris Johnson, working with the anti-vaxxers. That was me. And recently I've been getting featured a hell of a lot in Voice.
Yes, you gave me a couple of links to that, that was.
Yep. And there's another article due out in the next day or two as well, down to Simon Perry, whose truther who's been sectioned. He's a flat earther. He's been sectioned.
And what was it he was doing? What was it? For American friends, if someone is sectioned, that means they're forcibly detained to either protect themselves or other people due to the state of their mental health. So they're basically physically locked up.
He was making threats to decapitate MPs, including Chris Whitty and Patrick Vallance.
Yeah, Chris Whitty. He was the one who was the lead during the vaccination period for COVID, wasn't he?
Yeah, they're the two main government science correspondents. He was making threats to behead them. He was making half-an-hour phone calls to emergency services for conspiracies and kept on mentioning Matt Le Tissier, because Matt Le Tissier, the footballer, has now turned into a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that one.
And he took Simon under his wing, Matt Le Tissier did. So Matt Le Tissier was instrumental in him becoming more and more radical and more extreme.
And now he's sectioned.
And now he's sectioned. I think he's on 67 days now sectioned.
And they basically won't, again for American friends, they won't release him until his mental state is deemed fit and stable enough that he's not a danger to himself or others. That's the sort of person we're talking about in the truther community.
But the thing is, he was under the Mental Health Act for 20 years before the pandemic hit.
Oh, okay.
During the pandemic, he was given a free run for 2 years, unhindered. And then he had people come into his life like Kate Shemirani, Piers Corbyn, and Matt Le Tissier, three main names in the truther movement.
With Kate
pretty high up.
With Kate Shemirani, her own son has disowned her, basically, hasn't he?
Yeah, Sebastian's disowned her.
Yeah, disowned her because of her nutty ideas and the harm she's doing.
Server twins disowned her as well, but she don't talk about that.
Sorry, the what twins?
She's got twins as well that have disowned her.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that at all.
They moved out a long time ago.
Okay, and you also mentioned Piers Corbyn. Have you had any? And Piers Corbyn is Jeremy Corbyn's brother. Jeremy Corbyn was the Labour leader and at one time potential Prime Minister before Boris Johnson. So have you had dealings with Piers Corbyn?
Lots of dealings with Piers Corbyn. Piers Corbyn had my first channel taken down with false copyright strikes trying to get my address.
Yeah, because if they copyright strike you, you can fight against it, but you have to be willing to provide your address in case of a court case, which then can put the frighteners on people because they think, I'm not going to give them my address because then they know who I am. Brilliant.
Yep.
Brilliant. Not good at all.
So that's why I started using Section 107, same as you at the beginning of all my videos, and since then he hasn't touched me.
Good. So I can see, thank you very much, links to Mo's channel and your Twitter feed have been posted by Dora and perhaps by others. Thank you. Yeah, so that's in there. And I did see a couple of people say, I've subbed to Mr. Shafiq. Thoroughly recommend it. Some of the little clips you use in it, I love that little boy. Please, I've got no time for gossip.
And the lawnmower lady is well needed on all the people that I cover.
Yes.
She is more than needed.
Yes. Now, some people might find that a bit strong, but we're not dealing just with flat earthers who are either mistaken, stupid, or lying. We're dealing with some particularly nasty specimens. Really, really are.
Very, very, very nasty specimens.
So I hope people do realise that Mo keeping his voice filtered and not appearing on camera is not a joke. I think I said at the top of the stream, Mo, is it the case that you have never even used your voice on your channel?
never use my voice. I use text to speak.
And again,
on
that's
my
to
videos.
protect yourself.
Yeah, because I've actually been down to London and trolled them personally.
Ah, have you got a story to tell with regard to that?
I've got selfies with a lot of them. Most of the people that I've covered, I've got selfies in my scrapbook.
But they don't know that.
No. Well, they do. I've told them afterwards.
But I presume they can't put a face to it, can they?
They can't put a date or a time or a location, and they've all been in London hundreds of times in the last few years.
It's unreal. Really is unreal.
So I sent them on a mad one trying to search for all their photos, trying to find Mohammed, but they don't know date, time, location, or anything. But I was there.
So, people here, I hope you appreciate how fortunate I am to have Mohammed agree to come on the channel tonight. As I said, I think we've known each other about 18 months, Mel. I'm not entirely sure, but we chatted fairly often, and we get on, and I trust you, and obviously by coming on here, you have shown trust in me, for which I am truly honoured, because it's serious.
Thank you.
It's serious. I mean, you are genuinely the target of these people. Not a target of nasty words, you're the target of real threats.
The latest campaign by, should I say his name on here, or should I just say his initials? AG. He is an employee of Ike.
Okay.
Who come after me thinking I was Mohammed. That there ain't going to work out too well for him, all the people around him, because they've actually been targeting another truther as well. And that's the reason why I got involved.
So you've actually managed to get them confused that they're attacking each other?
No, basically they've been attacking another woman in the truther movement, who I covered a lot on my channel.
Okay. So
but
why is it
went
they're attacking
after her? Because she calls out their bullshit.
Okay, so she's a truther. Yeah, that's fine. So she's a truther, speaking a load of crap, but even she recognises that their crap is really crap.
Yeah, and she'll call them out for it. But they've gone after her family, her son, her husband, contacted her husband's work, and that's the same people that have gone after me.
I was going to say, when you said they've gone after, what have they done or tried to do to her then?
They've sent emails to her husband's work. Now, these people live in Germany, so they've actually got hold of someone's details in Germany, contacted a German employer, tried to get her husband sacked from his work. Then they contacted the woman's son while he was in hospital and recorded his phone calls and threatened to put him out if Michelle didn't shut up, this woman that I'll cover. They've been really horrific to her. What I've suffered is nothing compared to what Michelle has suffered, and even her being a truther, I had to step in and do something about it.
Oh, to protect her?
Yeah.
I mean, you said
even though we've got a different opinion,
though
we've got a different opinion, we'll still speak in my comments. I'll mock her and she'll come and she'll laugh about what I've mocked her for.
Yeah.
And I'll let her reply. And it's always been like that. And it's the same with all the other truthers who I cover as well. I never block them from my channel. But then seeing her get attacked, I did have to step in and do something about it. So,
I mean, you said it's nothing compared to what you suffered. I'm glad. And hopefully it's because you're taking sensible protective measures, like tonight.
Yeah.
And quite right too. I mean, you've got to protect yourself and protect your family. I say your family, I don't know. And this is true. I have no idea about Mo's family. I have no idea if he's single, if he's married, if he's got a partner, if he's got children. I have no idea, and I don't want to know. I don't need to know. But you have to protect those around you that are friends, family. You know, you've got to. Makes sense.
I won't even let any of my family follow me on social media.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's all too easy then to start making connections, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I presume that your friends or family? Let's keep it vague, but I presume that they know what you do on Twitter and social media?
Yeah, they all know what I do. They all laugh at it, but they'll look, but they won't follow. They won't comment. They won't. Like, they'll look at my Twitter feed, but they won't actually follow, because as soon as people follow me, they'll get the trolls come after them.
Yeah. Can I say, if anyone's got any questions that they want to ask Mo, which he will be at total liberty to ignore if he's not happy answering them, please feel free to ask, okay? Because this is quite an opportunity. Excuse me. Because, of course, you can always comment in Mo's videos, but that's very, very public. Whereas here, well, I suppose this is quite public, isn't it? But you're being protected anyway. Yeah, so if anyone has any questions to ask him, please do feel free. So, who's your latest target, Mo?
Wayne Fox.
Tell us a bit about Wayne Fox. That's a new one on me.
Wayne Fox is, I could only describe him as a Christian cult leader. He likes to put the fear of God into people. God is watching you, but his minions don't. Great, a good Christian.
But is it just that he's a preacher that you don't like, disagree with then, or has he got sort of any harmful?
No, he's part of the Satan hunters, as they like to call themselves.
Satan hunters?
Yes.
We did see
Satan.
Kate Shemirani accusing you of being some sort of Satan follower, didn't we?
Yeah, they all think everyone's satanic for some reason. But it's quite dangerous what he's into. Basically, the Satan hunters think everyone's Satanist that's in power or in government. They all drink baby's blood. They're all into adrenochrome, and he's there to enlighten people and save the world. It's Wayne Fox, but he talks in tongues in his videos. I'm being serious now, like the American preachers talk in tongue.
Oh, it's talking in tongues. Yes, I thought you said the voice filter distorted you a bit. Talking in tongues, yeah.
Yep. So he's talked in tongues a few times on his videos, so I've mocked him for that, and I've created a music video, Scatman, with his talking in tongues, and I've also got that available on 2 different MP3s as well. If people want to email me, my email's on my About section. I'll email you the MP3 ringtones as well, if I'm talking in tongue.
Well, there we go. Oh, actually, I've just had a super chat from Second Best Bob, who has a question for you. Thanks for that, Bob. He says, please ask Mo about 5G. I realise that he has the inside info. So, Mark Steele was obviously into 5G. Are many of these others, or because I've not heard so much about the 5G conspiracy lately. Has that all died, or are they carrying on?
No, the 5G is now being compiled into the shot and chemtrails, according to Mark Steele. He thinks that the chemtrails are now raining down on you, and you've got micro antenna, which is self-replicating.
Self-replicating micro antenna. Okay.
Yep. He has no idea how an antenna works. An antenna works off wavelengths. So you need a quarter wavelength, eighth wavelength, half wavelength.
I remember MC Toon took him to bits on that with regard to the lampposts, I think. I think it was the lamppost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 868 megahertz, which is an unlicensed frequency, the same as your home Wi-Fi router, which is 2.4 gigahertz.
Right. I'll be honest, and when you start going stuff like that, you lose me. Please feel free to explain, but I'm not going to be able to comment about it.
An unlicensed frequency is for like an appliance you can buy, like a mobile phone or a Wi-Fi router, where you don't need a license to run that frequency on that airwave.
Right.
Now, 868 megahertz is also another unlicensed frequency. It's not 5G, and it is used for things like home alarm systems.
Okay.
The old MOS security systems on cars was 868 megahertz. It's an unlicensed frequency that you don't need to hold a license to hold the radio.
Okay, so what's the problem about that?
There's basically unlicensed frequencies don't get classed under 5G spectrum, so that everything Mark still talks about is absolute baloney.
Oh, I see. And he's just claiming that's all 5G, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're unlicensed frequencies that have been used since like the early 70s, late 80s.
Yeah, because I did a video segment for Simon Dan quite a number of months ago, and that was to do with the swabs for COVID. They were saying it was infecting people with
oxide.
No, well, it was some sort of, what was it? Not aerogel, some sort of gel from DARPA, and it was causing sort of almost like nanobots to be inside you and micro antennae and goodness knows what. I just don't understand how they can just believe all this crap, not question it at all.
Have you ever used a pair of Bluetooth headphones?
Not headphones, but a Bluetooth earpiece I've used for a phone before now, if that
And
counts.
the battery don't last very long, does it?
No, that's true.
So how are these self-replicating antenna powering themselves?
Modern technology, dude. That's my answer. I have no idea. But as you said, not only that, let's say you made one of these things, how the hell are they self-replicating? And if they're self-replicating, isn't it just going to basically use up all the available material in your body and kill you? I don't know.
Exactly.
Mo's
But you
another
get all in
UK
that.
debunker getting threats. Oh, Mr. Andrat's just telling someone, yes. Yes, Stephen, Mr. Mohammed Shafiq is another debunker, but I'm not sure if you've ever covered any flat earthers, but he's concentrating on the truther community. So that was, what, anti-vax? Was that in there as well?
Yep, I'll cover anti-vax, 5G. The common law courts is a main thing I'm going to be focusing on right now.
So free man on the land stuff.
No, they're actually selling passports now.
Is this connected as well
driving,
with
driving licenses, car insurance, Fremantle and car insurance? You won't believe the crap they've got on their website.
Is this connected as well with allegedly Dave and his peace constable sort of thing?
Yes, Dave's listed on there. All his details are there for everyone to see because their database is totally insecure and anyone can go on there and look at what everyone submitted. And to register to the site, you need to submit your birth certificate, your passport.
Whoa, I've got to stop you there. So, surely the birth certificate is just a piece of paper. It's not the person.
No, well, they get issued a new one off this common law court and they pay for the privilege, but what they don't realise is when they've paid for the privilege, all their old details are all stored in a database for everyone to see.
Incompetence at its finest. And I think that you could pay about 25 quid to get some sort of little ID to become a peace constable, can't you? Isn't that what Dave did?
Yeah, and they were the same idiots from Mark Sexton, who I covered, who you and Simon Dan also covered.
You'll have to...
The police officer who...
Oh, yes!
linked back to Flat Earth. When his crime number went out, it was me who contacted the Met Police and got the email and put it out there that it wasn't being investigated.
Yep.
The next day.
So this was the... again, for people around the world who may not have seen this, this guy, who was an ex-police officer, made a report to the police.
Bailiff, can I add?
Sorry?
He was also a bailiff.
Oh, was he?
Yep, he went round people's houses, taking their belongings, and now the truther community love him. And he is both things they both hate, if you know what I mean. Bailiffs and coppers,
And
two
he
of the
was both
things
of
the
them.
truthing community. He was both of them, and the truthing community absolutely love him and all his BS.
Well, they love him because what he did is he went to a police station with a whole load of evidence. I think it was hundreds of pages of quote evidence saying that the government was killing people with COVID vaccinations and so on, and they took this great thick wad of paper and said, "Okay, sir, here's your crime reference number. Aha! They're being investigated for murder and killing people and all this sort of stuff. No, it's a reference number. It doesn't mean they're investigating a crime. No crime has been confirmed. It's just a reference number. But when they had that reference number, all these truthers went wild and then used that to say, this is real. Even the police are investigating. Until, as you said, Mo, you managed to get it confirmed that they're not.
Yeah, I got it confirmed on the 12th of January. Beginning of the year.
They didn't like that, did they?
That was a week after they went into Hammersmith Police Station.
Yeah.
Because I heard the crime number getting read out in a group chat.
It was all over the place,
wasn't it? It was meant to be private on Telegram.
Because also some solicitors firm... Sorry, mate. Some solicitors firm pulled out a full-page advert, didn't they? They made it look as though it's from the police. They used police logos, the sort of blue and yellow checker pattern to make it look official, and they were asking for more.
There was actually 2 different law firms.
2 of them. Okay, I wasn't aware of that. And they were basically saying that we're doing a class action lawsuit or something. If you suffered virtually anything from a headache to having died in a horrible way, then contact us and you can be part of our class action lawsuit. It's all crap. And they also, even as a solicitor's firm, said the police were investigating.
And the same law firms were actually selling evidence packs to give to police stations.
Oh, so it's pre-done.
Evidence packs that were handed over at police stations, securing their beliefs with that crime number, were actually being sold to them through them law firms. Pre-printed.
So I could go to that law firm and either be given or purchase, perhaps, I wouldn't be surprised, to cover printing costs, take that pack, go to a police station and say, hey, I'd like to report a crime. Here's my evidence. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
The police aren't stupid. The police aren't stupid. Well, as you said, you had it confirmed. It was not being treated as a crime. It was just a reference number. They're not going to keep taking endless pack after pack after pack and treat it as a real offence.
That's what they tried to do, and they did do for months until it actually came out on all the fact checkers that it wasn't being investigated, and the Metropolitan Police had to come out and do an official statement saying it's not getting investigated. We never started an investigation. It was never being investigated. But now they've moved on now to new crime numbers.
What's the new one about? Or is it similar sort of thing?
About not taking them seriously, malfeasance in public office.
So they're now reporting the police for not having treated their first complaint seriously.
Yeah.
I hope they're ready to submit a third
and they wonder why
report
they
about
get
the
mocked
second
and laughed at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, thanks again for posting Mo's link, Dora. Actually, let's just have a look. Mo, do you know how many subscribers you were on? I don't know. We were on 1.09 anyway, right? 1.09? That's criminal. Oh, and I like your first video there.
1.08.
I like your video. Why haven't 5G LED streetlights in Gateshead zapped Mark Steele? Yes. Yeah, Mark Steele is particularly precious. And that's the other thing. These people got all their channels taken down from YouTube. So we had Mark Steele. Didn't Lee Garrett have one? That's gone as well, hasn't it?
Lee Garrett's got a few more channels now. I don't even want to say his name on here because it'll give him a bit of promotion.
Yep.
But his content's totally laughable. He's actually got someone now who's a whistleblower who says he worked for MI5.
Oh, one of your colleagues
was
perhaps?
given a free run.
One of your colleagues?
Was given a free run. Not one of my colleagues. This one's from Northumberland.
No, I mean, one of your MI5 buddies, is it? I thought you apparently worked for MI5 or MI6. Didn't someone accuse you of
I'll
that?
give you extra biscuits if you don't tell anyone.
You're on.
Yeah, Alex George, the minion of David Icke,
yes.
thinks I'm MI5. He's the one who thinks I'm MI5, the one that's doing all the trolling at the moment.
Perhaps you should arrange a meeting.
Who we sent in.
Yeah, perhaps you should arrange a meeting, sort of, 2:00 in the afternoon by the park. Can you hear me? Mo, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was saying perhaps you should arrange...
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Good. Perhaps you should arrange a meeting, halfway across the bridge or by the park bench. Make sure you're wearing a raincoat. Carry a newspaper and an umbrella in your left arm. See if he turns up. Film him from a distance. Oh, you must have seen that setup of Piers Corbyn that channel did, where they arranged to meet. Oh, it's brilliant. For those who haven't seen it, this channel, I've forgotten the name, arranged a meeting with Piers Corbyn, and they also had arranged, I think it was a professional pickpocket or whatever, but they had an envelope with £10,000 in. They showed him this and gave him the envelope, which was left on the table, and he agreed. He agreed that in his attacking of, was it COVID vaccine companies, he would steer clear of their company and attack the others for this modest fee of £10,000. And what they did, while he was talking to them, this pickpocket went by and swapped the envelopes. So Piers Corbyn went home with his envelope, believing he had £10,000 in it. But Piers Corbyn actually released a video showing him opening it up, and it was full of Monopoly money, toy money. I think he might have seen a funny side of it, but boy, was that embarrassing. He basically was caught on film getting paid off.
Piers Corbyn did his bit for the environment yesterday.
Oh, did he? What did he do? Did they bury him under a tree or something?
No, the police confiscated his car that hasn't been taxed since September 2021 and hasn't been insured for over a year.
As Windsor Davis says, oh dear, how sad. Never mind.
And it's his car that had all the ULEZ stickers all over it that's been going round, doing all the campaigning.
All the what stickers?
ULEZ, the congestion zone within London.
Oh, I see. I presume he doesn't like that.
Congestion charges.
So he's not been paying.
Processing that in a car that's got no tax, no MOT, no insurance, falling apart, smoke coming out all over it. It's only got two hubcaps. Half the registration plate was hanging off the back of it.
What a cheapskate. This is the guy who's the brother of Jeremy Corbyn, who potentially could have been Prime Minister. Whether you'd want him to be or not, but he potentially could have been Prime Minister. How embarrassing.
And he had over £125,000 in donations given to him, and he's still wearing the same green jumper.
Oh dear. So I'm actually quite interested as well, Mo, in your dealings with Kate Shemirani, because she was speaking about COVID and vaccines. Is she still on that shtick, or is she on other aspects of truth?
She is now doing seminars which never actually happen. So basically they go on to the latest ticket agency, sell tickets at extortionate prices, get the event closed down, and none of them get refunds.
Ooh, that's sweet, isn't it? That's a nice little listener.
I think they're on their third event now. But she did take £68,000.
But she doesn't return the ticket money.
Yeah, because it's no refunds. So she actually gets the location closed down herself and then blames people like me for getting it closed down.
Okay, so perhaps let's say, just for speaking speculatively, she's going to hold this event. She's sold loads of tickets. Potentially, you could issue some sort of complaint, and the site closes it down. Now you're saying she's doing it herself. Can I ask? Because I don't know. Do you have any evidence of that she's doing it herself?
I'm actually compiling evidence at the minute to put into a video. that will be coming out pretty soon.
Okay, well, we don't want to, you've got to keep your powder dry, so don't tell us then. Absolutely, I understand. But you think you're going to be able to pretty much prove that she's been doing this?
Yes.
Yes, well, that would then be fraud as well.
She's well into her fraud.
Well, I would suggest then that when your video's out and you have presented your evidence, if anyone decides, and they're in the UK, you can report someone to Action Fraud.
Rani is the only person who can raise £70,000 in a crowd justice fund and not turn up at court.
Oh, yes, go on, expand on that. You did tell me that.
She raised £70,000 for her court case, and then she didn't turn up at the magistrate's court.
This was so £70,000 to fight her case, pay for lawyers and whatnot.
Yep. And she was fined less than £1,000, including court costs.
Which she can take off the 70. £69,000. Nice little earner.
Yep.
Wow.
And now she's told her fans that she didn't get any of the money off Robert Bullock, the barrister,
right,
who's also the barrister in charge of Mark Steele's crowd justice funds, Lee Garrett's crowd justice funds, everyone else's crowd justice funds. It's the same barrister for all of them.
Well, then, if he's a dodgy barrister, I hope that she is reporting him to Action Fraud. But then that would make her a police informer. Oh, no, what can she do?
She's actually made out to her fans as if she's not gotten none of the money at all, and Robert Bullock robbed her of all the money, even though he turned up at court and she didn't.
Well, she could find herself being sued by her own barrister.
Yes.
Nice. She's setting herself up for a fall big time, isn't she?
Very much.
I can see why you're interested in this stuff, just out of interest's sake, let alone just fighting what these people are saying. It's a real tangled web, isn't it?
It was the same with Louise Hampton as well, who was the NHS worker who jumped to fame with a certificate of bollocks in the paper.
So I do beg your pardon, Mo. Could you repeat that?
Louise Hampton jumped to fame with her certificate of bollocks. She worked for 111 and said that there weren't no COVID pandemic and they weren't busy.
Oh, right, okay.
But within 2 days of her viral video, I made a video of her on my channel, and her dad commented and told us that she wasn't at work during the pandemic. She was off with mental illness.
Oh, dear.
Told us the company that she worked for was Care UK, it wasn't NHS, and basically dropped his daughter right in it.
So again, for people around the world, NHS, British National Health Service. So she worked for a private company, from what you're saying. 111 is the non-emergency number for just general medical advice, rather than requesting police, fire, ambulance. If you just want medical advice, you ring 111. Okay, so she was basically saying that the medical advice line was not busy, but she wasn't even working there.
Yep, she wasn't even working there. And the day the video went viral, she was due for a disciplinary because she was off work. That much was sick, and sick pay, that she weren't getting no more sick pay.
I wonder if she was suffering from, dare I say it, COVID?
She was suffering with something that went on for some time and was helped along by the media, who put her to fame and then dropped her like a hat when I exposed how racist and vile she was in the threatening voice notes that she was sending me.
Oh, lovely.
When I put them out on Twitter.
Well, just before you tell us about that, I'd just like to say Mr. Andrat asked me to tell you, Mo, that he looks forward to trolling that clown Bulldog again.
Oh, Bulldog's my number one troll.
I've seen him in your comments before now.
He's on 205 comments now.
Do you think Bulldog is Bulldog and just a troll, or do you think he's one of these, Shemarani or one of the others as a sock puppet?
He's a bit of a pillock. He uses the same avatar and name all over the internet, on his Facebook, on his Telegram. So I see him talking to the likes of Mark Collett, the BNP scoundrel.
So now we got links to a racist organisation.
Yeah, he's well in with all them. So, he's my top troll.
And you said you've had racist attacks against you as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about those?
I've had a lot of racist attacks. I've had them from people from Patriotic Alternative, which is the new rebranded BNP.
British National Party, so that's extreme right wing, yeah?
Yep. I've had them actually from BNP members, Sadie Single and Matt Single, who are the head of Hope Sussex, who are running the new Truther Glastonbury that's going to be held pretty soon. And that's why I was mentioning Vice the other day.
A Truther version of Glastonbury.
Yep. Okay. It's getting held because Sadie Single's now got a Truther school for Truther kids where they teach flat earth and stuff like that.
Well,
no joke.
Mo, with regard to that, I'd like you to please send me details. In fact, I'll if I just send you a quick message now. What's her name?
Her name's Sadie Single.
Because I want a link about that school.
And the school's called Hope.
I appreciate you're going to attack her in various ways, but it's the flat Earth aspect. I don't want all these other debunkers jumping on it. So I'd like to have a link about the school, and flat Earth, if I may.
Yep.
Cool. Don't worry about it now. I just sent you that, so you got that there. Right. So Sadie Single and what was the other single?
Matt Single.
So
and
Sadie Single, are the two singles a couple?
They're married now. She used to be Sadie Graham.
Okay.
And they were both involved in the BNP leaking of data about 10 years ago, when all the BNP members, including members of Parliament, the police, people that worked in the grounds of Windsor Castle, all their details were all published as being members of the BNP by them.
Oh.
In a data leak.
So what, they leaked their own data, did they? Or were they hacked?
Yep. No, they leaked their own membership database.
So what was that, deliberate?
It was ruled in court that Sadie, basically, Matt took the blame. So Sadie got off. He took the blame because of his standing there, not working, no money. He was fined a few £100. And
that disclosed that there were some, because like with any organisation, like the police, you are going to get some bad apples. But so some police officers who were members.
Yep, and then Sadie went on then to become a teacher. Believe it or not.
So I presume she went through a teacher training college or whatever.
She was a university graduate.
Okay.
While she was with BNP.
So not a stupid person.
Well, she was stupid enough for me to capture her pulling the police's hair.
Okay. Let me rephrase that then. Not an unintelligent person.
Not unintelligent, but very stupid.
Mm.
Because when she come onto the Truther scene back last year, I spotted her pulling the hair of the police coming out of the train station, fighting the police with her children in front of her. She took her children to a violent protest, and it was actually fighting the police with her children in front of her.
Do you have I seem to recall hearing about that. Do you have a video on that on your channel?
There's one called Tango Man. If you want to play that shows the whole event all the way through. I can send you a link to it if you want.
Well,
I actually put it into a music video.
Is there any copyright issues on that?
On the music, there might be.
Yeah. Perhaps you better be careful on that. But,
So better not.
No, but it's on your channel.
Yeah.
Okay, so people can always do it, and that's not a bad idea anyway. Then you get the views, mate. You do deserve them, and as I said, the number of subs you've got, I think you're criminally undersubscribed, bearing in mind who you're taking on, because you've been doing it for quite a while now, haven't you?
Since 2018, I'm on my 4th YouTube channel.
Yeah, I see this one started 2nd of June 2020.
Yep. But I had 2 channels that were taken down pre-pandemic.
If the street lights in Gateshead.
Sorry, I accidentally started playing one of your videos. It started coming through. The sounded. I've turned it off.
Yeah, I had 2 channels taken down pre-pandemic, pandemic as well.
Yes.
One of them was by Piers Corgan, the other one was Lee Garrett trying to copyright strike me.
And there was no way that you're aware of to fight that without disclosing. I'm trying to think, because I had to issue a genuine copyright strike against someone, but then I think if they challenge it, then we have to give our names and addresses. It gets very serious very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I've got around that now because I signed up to Odyssey, so now my channel's totally backed up on there. So if it goes down again, I just drag it straight back up to YouTube again.
Okay, so not a problem there. Right, here's a question from Surrender Monkey. Is this a piss take, or are you being genuine? This is absolutely genuine, Surrender Monkey. I said earlier on, you obviously joined the stream later on, fair enough. This guy, Mohammed Shafiq, does have a YouTube channel. He is tackling these truthers, COVID deniers, well, there's more than that, 5G conspiracists and the like. But more than him is doing that. But Mo is getting real threats, doxing, threats to himself, threats to his family, threats to his life. This is not a joke. Mr. Shafiq's voice has been distorted. I know what his voice is like. This is his voice distorted. The image here is a joke, but this is a serious subject. It really is. Oh, Dora's got a good point, actually, Mo, saying, can't you file a counterclaim via a lawyer or solicitor so as to not dox yourself? That is true. You can do that with a copyright thing, but of course that costs money. But then it's your solicitor, your lawyer, whose details become known to the other party, which is fair enough. Hopefully then they back down. But if they do then decide to fight it, then at some point they'll find it. But at least they couldn't do it just by bombarding with copyright strikes in an effort to get you to release your name. That's a good point.
Well, they've given up doing that now.
Good. Well, I'm glad. It's a dirty underhand tactic. Surely they've got all the evidence and they can shut you down by showing you how wrong you are. Can't they?
I wish they would just do that, or basically challenge what I challenged them on.
Yes.
In their next video, instead of just, oh, it's trolls.
Yeah, it's all too... Or Satanists. That's it, just accuse you of being a troll or a Satanist. I mean, I've had that before with some people just accusing me of being a God-hating atheist or an actual Satanist. That's no argument. Deal with what I said.
Exactly.
Thank you, Debonk. Appreciate that. Hello, Ranty is in here as well. Good evening to you, Ranty. Right, so Mo, I can see in the live waiting room we've got Nimrod. He was there right from the start, and you may have spoken to him while you were waiting in it. I don't know if you were speaking to the others there.
Yeah.
So, are you okay if Nimrod's around, if we bring him in and perhaps have a chat?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'll give him 30 seconds. So, Nimrod, I'm going to get you in here. So, I hope you've got some good questions for Mo. Wow. So, what's your next steps then, Mo? What can you tell us anyway? You know, how are you going to take your channel?
I'm going to be focusing more on the common law theme, which is coming rather popular within the truther community at the minute.
I presume because they can't afford car insurance and stuff like that, and they're looking for an excuse to get out of it.
Yep, car insurance, registration plates, passports,
parking fines, stuff like that.
They don't have to pay parking fines because they're not driving; they're travelling. Apparently, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I saw Freeman, or what is it? That Freeman on the land. What is the? I think
sovereign
the UK
citizens.
Sovereign citizens is the more American version. They're the same sort of things, aren't they?
Yep.
Okay, let's get Nimrod in. Hello, Nimrod. Are you there, sir? He's very quiet. Hello, Nimrod.
Hello there. Sorry, I was listening to you live on my phone, so I didn't want to make anything worse. So feedback.
Do you know what? You sound more distorted than Mr. Shafiq.
I'll turn my fan down a bit because that might be a problem. I have my headphones back to front.
So, Nimrod, what do you think about all this that Mo's doing, the fight he's having, and the response he's getting from these people?
Well, I can't say I listened to the whole stream because I was talking to some other people in the Discord waiting room while I was waiting. But I will say from what I did hear, he's doing a great job trying to infiltrate the people who are seriously hurting the general public. And I think it's a disgrace that the people he's fighting have gained such good ground to fight from. I wish it wasn't the case that stupidity wins over intelligence.
I don't think I'd say they'd won, but they certainly have got a very loud voice because they got some big names, haven't they?
Well, yeah, this is what I mean by that. They haven't won, but they're winning by getting more and more people behind them all the time.
What do you think of that then, Mo? Do you agree?
What I've realised at the truth community at the moment, now the pandemic's over, lockdown restrictions and everything are all gone. We're now left with just the fringe extremists in the truth community now. So it's more easier to monitor them because they're all together, but they're all absolutely nuts at the same time.
I suppose when all the lockdown ended, then half their fight suddenly disappeared, that we were all being controlled and locked down.
So you're only left now with a few fringe extremists who are following now chemtrails and 5G and contaminated water. They think your water's contaminated.
Oh, not fluoridation of the water, is it?
Yep. Okay. And they're actually using the 2 electrodes in the water.
Right.
Ridiculousness. Absolute ridiculousness.
Can I just say,
ionised water don't conduct electricity, so the third one ain't going to get dirty because there's nothing there for it to conduct for. You can actually use the ionised water as an insulator.
Well, can I just say that Auditing the Absurd just super chatted £10. Thanks, Ranty. Please tell Turtle I'm not a millionaire. Well, Turtle, Auditing is not a millionaire because he's only got £999,990. Thanks for the tenner, mate. Oh dear.
One of the things I have to say is that because of what happened to me not so long ago, as I explained, I have a lowered immunity because of illnesses I've had. I still walk around with a mask on all the time. When I go into any shops or anywhere, I have a mask on. And people seem to be so afraid of me because I have a mask on.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 3 years ago, if you'd have done that, because I remember when the COVID thing started, the first time I saw someone with a mask, you see China or Japan or wherever it is, and quite a lot of people wear masks. And suddenly there's someone here. That looked really, really odd. But now, if I see someone, I just think, oh, Well, they're just trying to take extra protection. Don't think twice about it.
Yep. When I go into shops, I have a mask on, and people, if they see me coming into the aisle that they're in, they will walk away from that aisle, and I have the whole aisle to myself. It is great in a way, because I now have more personal space and don't have to be worried about these idiots.
So you don't think it's just as simple as they're afraid your mask will slip and they'll see what an ugly git you are?
Well, I've never been afraid of how ugly I am.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's not my worry. I'm taking protection against their idiocy about giving me illnesses and stuff. I have a low immune system. I can't risk it.
So, Mo, amongst the people you're dealing with, obviously at one time the whole COVID thing was huge. Is that still there? Is there still that anti-vaccine thing? Because that seems to have gone quiet to what I'm seeing publicly.
It's gone quiet. They went on to come in for our kids and tried to go down that route.
What, kids having vaccines?
Yep. Wanted to stop the kids having vaccines, stop them coming for our kids. That was their little campaign. But people weren't following them. And like I said...
Sorry, people not following them?
People wasn't following them the same way they were mid-pandemic.
Yeah.
So it kind of fizzled out.
And the danger is it's not just... I mean, with children, of course there's a risk of serious illness, but it's an extremely low risk. The bigger risk is of them spreading. But I think the bigger risk still is if you get into the mindset that a vaccine is bad, you start skipping other vaccines. I mean, look what's happened recently. They've discovered some variation of polio is starting to spread around London. I think it was London. Kids need their polio vaccines.
And look at the the monkeypox, which is coming back. Monkeypox.
Oh yes, yes. Because that's related. That's polio type family, isn't it?
Yeah, it's related to, I think, chickenpox or one of the other poxes that's around, and all of these illnesses are going to come back if people stop getting their vaccines. Like, we eradicated some of these illnesses because of vaccines, and now people aren't doing those vaccines. They're going to come back, and they're going to be society killers in a massive, massive way.
And of course, with the polio, that leaves people paralysed, and because there's that guy who's lived since he was just a little kid in an iron lung. And I think he's just about the last guy who is, and they can't even get the spare parts of the iron lung, and he had to have some guy custom made the seal that goes around his neck or whatever. But we will end. I mean, that's the solution for people who are paralysed to that extent. We will end up with people spending their lives in an iron lung again.
But people don't want to listen to that reality and want to believe their own fake reality that they're being taught by idiots. As is usual, as is Flat Earth, as is broadening. There is a creator on YouTube who I follow who has had the Larger Lurgy, as Creaky calls it, twice now. Now, if he just went out and had a mask on him while he's in close proximity to people, that wouldn't have happened. It's the reason why I have gone this long without having the Larger Lurgy, because I have taken double precautions. I don't just wear a mask, I wear a surgical mask and then my own specific cloth mask on top of that, because I cannot risk my immune system to somebody else being stupid.
And I was the same as that last week. I had to go on a big long train journey to the hospital for an MRI scan, and I was the only person on the whole train with a mask on.
But that's okay, Mo. That's okay. I mean, who gives a monkey's what other people think? When your health is in a position that you are at risk, you take the sensible precautions to protect yourself and just hope that people aren't positively putting you at risk.
Go on. I just seen Turtle Moves went and put into the chat that monkeypox is related to smallpox. Sorry, I got it wrong. It was one of the poxes. I did say one of the poxes. I wasn't sure about which one it was related to, but smallpox. Okay, thank you.
And it's because of this and people not having the smallpox vaccines that we're at risk of monkeypox now. Yeah. Although I think it's a comparatively low-risk disease in itself, isn't it, monkeypox, I think?
It's probably not going to spread as much as what the Larger Lurgy has spread.
Yeah.
Because so many people have had the pox vaccines. The coronaviruses that are out there, like the cold, your yearly flu, etc., etc., they are very close, as far as I have read, to creating a flu vaccine that will incorporate the coronavirus into it every year, because obviously it's very quick to change, and we've gotten to a place really quickly, thank God. Not that I believe in God, but thank dog, as I usually say, that they're starting to try and incorporate it into the yearly flu vaccine now, so that we will be protected from that particular type of corona or crown virus that has been the pandemic for the last couple of years.
I mean, that would certainly be wonderful. I mean, I get the flu vaccine each year, and I don't get flu. When I was younger, I didn't used to get the vaccine, and yeah, most years I'd get either flu or a very nasty cold that I believed was flu. So, yeah, if the corona stuff can be incorporated, but then even if it's not incorporated, if it was a separate vax, I'd have that. So,
yeah, I mean, I've had asthma all my life, so I've pretty much been pretty much have to have these vaccines, so as not to create problems for myself, because I'll get really, really sick. And now I have diabetes, and a year ago my liver stopped working properly. It's now back to as good as it's going to get for me. So I have to get these vaccines, and I'll keep getting those vaccines to make sure that I don't get sick, and I'll keep taking the precautions of wearing a mask wherever I go. If I'm in tight proximity, if I'm in buildings, out in public, I don't wear my mask. When I'm inside a shop, I wear my mask. Because obviously, I'm not an idiot. And yes, it's summer now, and these viruses aren't so prevalent in the summer, but during the winter months, I take even more precautions.
Of course. I think Auditing the Absurd has been hacked. He's just super chatted £10.
Oh God! Now he's got even less money.
Yeah, £999,980 left. Keep going, mate. I'll read them all. You've got a lot more to go. Apparently, Ranty thinks that, because I don't, Ranty thinks that the Earth is flat, polio is fake, monkeypox is fake, NASA lies, legs do grow back on humans with God's help. Pray for new limbs. A head can be grown back if you pray enough. Oakley is the best.
Yeah, well, I chopped my foot off like 6 weeks ago, and now I'm off the crutches, and my foot has grown back completely. So, yeah, true.
Yeah, but I can just imagine how that's going to be clipped. Thanks for that, mate. Oh dear. Yeah, well, we're laughing and joking. Flat Earth, I've always regarded it as a gateway conspiracy. Flat Earth itself is comparatively harmless, although it is dumb, and it does mean people are missing out on a lot of wonderful things, a lot of wonderful understanding. But the scary thing is how it can lead on to other things, and how many of these flat earthers have we seen to go on to be COVID deniers, anti-vax, 5G conspiracists, and all these other things that you're fighting, Mo?
Well, Simon Parry started his life out as Flat Earth. He was actually on Fight the Flat Earth MC2 and a few other Flat Earth shows.
Oh, what, as a debater or something?
Yep, for Flat Earth, but all his evidence was all memes.
Well, it always is, isn't it? I mean, they haven't really got anything else.
Memes and insults. But
if he'd left it at that, he'd just look like an idiot, but he's gone way beyond that then.
Yeah. And it was only because of the big names within the conspiracy movement that basically gave him attention that made him as radical as he was.
Right. So
they were instrumental in basically getting him sectioned off.
Well, he's probably in the right place, isn't he? I mean, anybody could suffer with mental health problems, of course, and that's that's nobody's fault. We don't know how much of his beliefs are driven by his mental health and how much his mental health has been driven by the way his beliefs are treated. I don't know. I mean, that's a sad thing, and not be funny. I wish him well, and in that I hope his mental health improves. But it would improve a damn sight more if he stepped away from all this conspiracy shit.
It's a very sad situation that somebody's mental health will lead them down this weird of a rabbit hole that they will believe this. Although having known my own mental health and knowing my uncle's mental health many years ago, it's not entirely surprising that not being entirely right with your mental health can make you go down these rabbit holes to try and find somewhere where you find comfort in something like a flat earth that makes sense to what you're looking at right now, despite the fact that we all, most, and I will say this in air quotes, normal people, because what's normal exactly, but most normal people will say, well, the earth obviously has to be rotating, but if you just think about it from your own personal viewpoint, it doesn't feel like the earth's rotating, and if your mental health isn't in the right place, you can go down that rabbit hole very badly. And I won't hold it against somebody who isn't mentally stable, because I know how bad mental health can make somebody feel.
Yeah, and I wouldn't laugh at someone for their mental health.
No.
I laugh at the stupidity of people like Oakley and so on with their flat earth crap, where they obviously do not know what they're talking about. And I think he deserves everything he got because he's a thoroughly obnoxious person. If he was a nice guy but just totally wrong, I can deal with that.
Yeah,
that's fine.
He's grifting off other people's mental inabilities.
Yes, which is a particularly scummy thing to do.
Exactly, that's the worst thing you could ever do. In my case, in my opinion, anyway. I won't say that anybody else is right. Just my opinion.
Well, just call me. Avi has just posted. I have mental health issues. I don't think the Earth is flat. That vaccines are filled with microchips, planes spray the air with chemicals, and the government is controlled by lizard people. Absolutely, absolutely. We're not saying that at all either, Avi. Of course.
Oh no! I mean,
mental health comes in many shapes and forms, and most of us will suffer one mental health issue or other, or multiple during our lifetimes.
Yeah, I mean, just call me Avi. I mean, in the last few years since my ex-girlfriend split up with me, I've gone through a huge amount of different rabbit holes trying to find my way back to my own normal. And I found YouTube, and I found Mr. Sensible, and I found an awful lot of other people in this community who have been a great help to me trying to find myself way back to a normal place in the world. I understand how easy it is to get drawn into something that you want to believe. I could never believe in a flat earth, but it's so easy to get drawn into it when you have somebody so convincing like Nathan Oakley. Who basically abuses you.
That's right, and he gish gallops, and then you've got that. I forgot what the term is. That those people on his panel that they will go out their way to try and please their abuser.
Exactly, and make you think that you're the wrong person for believing in a globe Earth.
Victoria West said, sadly, once someone has been captured by one of the conspiracies, it's a fast track to the rest. That's certainly possible, and we do see it. That people who believe in one conspiracy, their minds are so open that their brains are falling out and they'll accept anything.
It's like a toxic relationship, Mr. Sensible. They find out about one person on my channel, and I'll see them slating that grifter off in my channel. and then I'll look on Telegram and they'll join on to another grifter who's pushing exactly the same conspiracy.
So do you think that that's a need to belong or need to be accepted or liked?
Yeah, it's like they're seeking family. It's like their family refuge is online, and that's their only salvation.
And yet the really sad thing is, and I'm really not comparing Ranty to some of these people you're dealing with, because never that I saw was Ranty in any way, shape or form horrible. He was mistaken and he was a flat earther. But the thing was, when he turned from flat earth, he was accepted. He wasn't mocked or bullied or anything like that for his previous beliefs. He was accepted. And now he's become a major part of this community.
But he wanted to find the truth.
Yes.
That is the difference. He wanted to find the actual answers. That was the big difference between him and an awful lot of the other ones.
Yes, he had a question. He had a question, wanting to find the answers. The others have their answer, the earth is flat or whatever, and are trying to find things that will support it.
Yeah. Whereas Ranty, and it's why I still support him and avidly do support him, is very honest about what has happened to him in his life, and is a truly nice person, and he doesn't hold the wrong beliefs that he used to have.
And anybody can be wrong.
Exactly, and he accepts that he was wrong about that.
Yeah,
and that's the point I'm trying to make. He accepts that he was wrong, and he found his way to the reality, and accepts that his answer was wrong. His question was totally right, but his answer was wrong. Now he's found the right answer, and he's back to normality.
Well, Mr. Auditing the Absurd, who by now is a 50-50 owner in this channel, has super chatted £10 again. Apparently, he now believes that the sky moves, the sun chases the moon, Pac-Man model could be real, Earth doesn't have gas pressure, Riley will change the education system, Oakley will rule the flirts, and Brian's logic is brainy.
Brian's logic is what? Sorry?
Brian's logic is brainy.
No. That's...
It's just so wrong, isn't it?
Don't ever say that in Ireland. Don't ever say that.
I had to. He super chatted it.
But just don't mention that when you go to Ireland next time.
Oh dear. Right. Well, I think. I mean, I've really enjoyed this. Really have. Nimrod, I'll say to you first, and pop you out into the waiting room then, if I may. Thank you very much for joining us and joining in this discussion. I hope you're well and enjoyed it. Good. Always welcome to this channel, of course. You know that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll pop you out there and have a final word with Mr. Shafiq, okay?
Yes, boss.
Okay, cheers, mate.
Okay.
Right, pop me into the live waiting room. Yes, Mo, honestly, sir, I genuinely and heartfeltedly thank you for coming on tonight. I know from our chats some of the problems that you've had from these people that you've been dealing with, and that there are genuine risks to yourself at whatever level. Some of them, when someone says something like about the beheading thing, you don't know. They could just be mouthing off, but you have to treat it seriously. So there's genuine risk or perceived risk there. So the fact that you have trusted me and decided that you could come on this stream tonight, I really thank you for, sir.
Thank you very much for giving me the time.
Always a pleasure.
Much appreciated, Mr. Sensible.
Always a pleasure. You know, I've followed you on your channel for a long time, and if one of the mods could please, I mean, the link is in the description, but if one of the mods could post it in the live chat again for Mo's channel, I'd appreciate it. And from his channel, you might find somewhere else in the chat a link to his Twitter. Otherwise, you can find it via the description and videos on your channel, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And you certainly have an active Twitter channel with some interesting stuff. Much more active than mine, I'm afraid. Right. So I
It's
don't know.
not as active as it was during the time when Mark Sexton's crime number went viral.
Oh yeah. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Yes, it'd be
I
nice
was
to hear
getting
what
3.5 million hits a month.
So
on my
you
Twitter.
were, yeah. And you, as you said, some of your
Yep.
tweets were picked up by major press.
Yep.
Including
all the fact checkers.
Yes, yeah, which is always good to see, because I know you sent me the links to them, and I was congratulating you for it, because quite right too, it shows that you're getting to the truth. It shows that you're hurting these people in the best way, and that you're disrupting their despicable activities. So I salute you, sir. And
thank you very much.
Very welcome. Demon Orbs posted a link to Mo's channel. Thank you, Demon. So, Mo, thank you very much. What I'll do, if you don't mind, is I'll pop you into the live waiting room. Nimrod is still in there. And I'll wrap up the stream, okay?
Okay, then, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Have a nice evening.
Cheers.
And a lovely evening to everyone watching.
Cheers. Bye-bye. So, he says, as he uses his new fancy change scene gubbins, I honestly am so pleased. So very pleased that managed to get Mo on here. Yeah, I found it absolutely fascinating and horrifying that someone fighting stuff that's demonstrably wrong, like I do, like Cats does, and Toon, and Fight the Flat Earth and that, not only receiving bile and nasty comments, that goes with the flow. If you put yourself out there, you need a thick skin because someone will say something horrible. That goes without saying. But then going beyond that, not even just doxing or the copyright strikes, which he's also suffered, and the doxing attempts as well, but to make real and genuine threats against him or mistakenly against other people that they think are him, to the extent that police are involved. He's putting it out there. I honestly think that his subscriber count is criminally undersubscribed, so please do consider having a look at Mo's channel and maybe having a subscribe and or telling other people as well, okay, because he does deserve it. He puts in a lot of effort, does a lot of stuff. Auditing the Absurd, who's now getting skint, yes, get £5. Thank you for that, Ranty. Getting skint, but Gary Wybenga is the most intelligent. Look, this. What are you trying to do, Ranty? Are you trying to make an entire video just clipping me? Are you, sir? I'm going to put. What I need to do is put up a caption saying this is what Ranty said. But what he said was Gary Wybenga is the most intelligent fliff out there. He's super smart and knows everything. Nobody can debunk him, or dunk him. He rules. I don't know what to say to that, Ranty. Thank you very much for everyone joining in tonight. I do hope that you have enjoyed this stream. To me, it was rather an important one. I do like Mo, and I do want to support him. So I'm going to say tomorrow night, 7 p.m. UTC, 8 p.m. UK time, I've got my first new content on the new Mr. Sensible channel, which is still called Baldy Cats. That is new content. I'll also be mirroring a couple of others, which I'd appreciate if you go and give a view, because the view counts will help. But so there'll be a couple of mirrors coming up. But tomorrow's one is a brand new video, so don't forget to check it out. So just go to Baldy Cats. The link is in the description, and make sure you subscribe. I'll say thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Take care. Thanks for super chats. Thanks for the members. Thanks for the patrons. Thanks for joining us. And a special thanks tonight to Dr. Nimrod and especially Mr. Mohammed Shafiq. Take care all. Good night.
Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, bring me some cheese and get me only the best if you please. Best if you please. Here are some flowers, let me display them. Yea, Dr. Warlow, you have gone all slay them. Mr. Sensible, you are a man. every subscriber is a faithful fan. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help us out please. Mr. Sensible, Mr. Sensible, I needed proof of gravity, so I jumped off the roof. It had a lot, let me go further. Why was I ever such a dumb flat earther? Mr. Sensible, I'm such a clown. I am the laughing stock of the town. Bring your logic and your cheese. Mr. Sensible, help me out please. Mr. Sensible, bring me a sphere, to which the waters of the oceans adhere, have explanations that let me be candid, so clear that all the travelers understand it. Mr. Sensible, please hear my call, the earth is not flat, so let's have a ball, so bring your logic and your cheese.